Okay. Um, take two. But my name is Nick Ben Rob, otherwise known as Zio. I'm here with Calicaboot, or Cal for short. I got here with shirts, black shirts, and I have Lieutenant Dan, or
What's going on?
Shadow, or tech support.
One of those.
Yeah. And overall thoughts of season four of Rainbow Six Siege. How do y'all feel?
I mean, it's been pretty good so far. I don't think Thorn has been too overpowered. I think she's pretty balanced with 3 gadgets so far. I think her gun could lose a little bit of damage, but other than that, I'd say she's pretty balanced with the shield.
Okay.
No damage loss. That gun is awesome. I love it.
I don't
Well,
know. For me personally, it feels like the gun's a little weak for what it is, but overall, I think that's it. The gadget itself is perfectly fine. I just think if they do anything, they need to adjust her primary a bit because slow rate of fire is really affecting the time to kill on that thing.
it.
Honestly. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Nick.
Oh, it's more. It's an Uzi, right? So it shoots and behaves like an Uzi.
Pretty much.
Okay.
They really need to nerf the recoil on it. Like it should honestly have a little bit more recoil than it does.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
Okay.
could stay behind that because what it is right now, it just literally just shoots in a straight line for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten a bunch of long angle kills with that weapon so far, and it doesn't feel like it should be shooting that straight.
You think it should shoot like the SMG 11, or just a little bit less recoil than that, but it has the same properties as that?
It shouldn't it shouldn't be that bad, but it shouldn't be shooting as straight as like an MPX or an MP5, and it shoots pretty much just as straight as those weapons.
Maybe
Hmm.
somewhere around Buck's recoil would be okay if they
I was,
were to change it.
yeah, I was gonna say either Bucks or Alibis because Alibis is a pretty good spot now.
Yeah.
I would shoot more for Alibi. Buck, I'm still. I think I'm accurate when I play like against bots, but when I go in an actual match, it's a way different experience, and that's one thing again that we can talk about this later. But the TDM mode, I would appreciate to have that in as far as recoil control compared to like live compared to bots. Recoil control is a major problem in my opinion.
Comes down to how the they have it programmed too, since it goes off of a diamond scale
Yeah.
compared to just like predictable recoil.
Okay.
Also, do we know when the TDM is supposed to come out? Is that coming out next season? Do we know?
Man,
I
I believe
don't.
it's next season. I believe because it's in the it was in the technical test server, so you'd assume it's near completion at this point.
Cross our fingers, right?
cross our
Yeah,
fingers.
true.
Hope we don't die from actually it coming out.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to look it up right now to get any information because remember, like for example the map replay, like they went and they brought it in for testing, and then it was what 2 seasons until it came back,
Felt
like
like
in the quote unquote beta mode, but for everybody to use permanently.
felt like a
Yeah, and there's
year.
still problems with that. There's still problems.
Yeah, like
Looks like it came out the 8th of December 2021
really.
for the test server. Ubisoft said so when it is coming out, the game mode has already been introduced to the test servers on the 8th of December. Ubisoft has said that the mode should be introduced to live servers near the 6th Invitational 2022.
That's a
That was
lie.
December 4th of 2021.
That's a
Is this the
lie.
replay or the TDM?
The TDM mode.
TDM.
Okay, so yeah, that's probably gonna be like season 7 if it's not coming out now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It,
probably. I'm willing to bet that they're gonna say like, oh, the TDM mode goes live tomorrow when they do the reveal, which should be like the 20th or whatever, the
Hmm.
next season reveal. So that way people are like, oh my god, it would just make sense because
Yeah.
it's usually what Ubisoft does. They usually save like big announcements they know are gonna be a hit for like majors or whatever.
I don't think it's gonna have people like off the wall chanting like Rainbow Six is back. I think it's more of like, oh, about time you put it in there, because like this is like, it to me when I played it, it wasn't that much of an issue. It was the fact that some of the intro and outros were kind of junky, but overall the game was pretty enjoyable. Like just basic TDM, and
Yeah.
the
I
maps were
mean,
pretty good.
yeah, but we see the intro and outro have issues on like T hunts, some unranked, some quick plays. They're like that's not surprising to me specifically, but we'll have to see there with that.
Yeah, it's. I think if they're basically forced to put that stuff out on the day one of season of year 7 for the TDM, because if they do another, we're gonna have to wait two some more seasons for it to come out because of technical difficulties. Then I mean, people are still gonna have people are leave Siege over and over again because the
Yeah.
numbers
Yeah.
are down.
I mean, but that does in part have to do with like the bigger cheating issue in the higher ranks and just unranked. You see him in casual sometimes at this point. Like it's getting really bad
Yeah.
It's
nowadays.
been slowly trickling down. I know it's in the higher part of gold and gold 2 area. I've
Yeah.
noticed
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
maybe one out of every 5 games. There's usually a cheater.
At least y'all getting cheaters. I don't get much cheaters. I don't get a lot of MMR rollback, and if I do, it's like I only got like one this season. And as far as the cheating aspect, I talked to Ubisoft like last week. Well, Ubisoft support, and I told them like my phone verification for this new system y'all adding in is not going on, but they said, "Oh, U.S." At the end of the day, they said U.S. numbers are not supported right now, so you're gonna have to do email verification. But they posted phone verification, so that was kind of a little bit confusing on my end because it's you need to be verified for rank as is. So implementing more verification when the phone system is not working, it's kind of redundant.
That just sounds like they're asking US numbers since they said they're not supported to be the beta testers right now for the system.
Mhm.
That's what that sounds like.
Okay. Yeah, because I tried putting my phone number in years ago, and I told them about that. They said we're going to do this. We're working on it. We're working on it. Then 2 years after, I tried to put my phone number in, would not work, and I just hope that year 7 on day one they implement a stronger two-step verification, like it can be the authenticator app or something, because email verification is my opinion the weakest one.
Yeah, because I can just go create a new email whenever I want, and there you go. Problem solved. Get another account. Oh
Yeah,
no. And then cheater problem never will go away if that's the only way they have of dealing with it.
Yeah.
yeah, hmm, yeah. So
So,
go ahead.
no, go ahead. I was going to ask what you have next on our list of things to talk about today.
It's mainly about the siege in general. So we still got more stuff to talk about for what year overall year 6 in general. So before we even go to year 7, so what you think about the ops of all the 4 ops that have happened this year, and how do you think they will be more and more implemented throughout the years?
Well, I don't think Thorn is going to make that much of a is going to be that too big of a difference. It's essentially um another roamer that has like an Ella-esque ability. I think come year 7, she's gonna get picked a lot in Pro League. She's gonna get picked a lot in high plat lobbies and pretty much every lobby, and then she's gonna get nerfed into the ground, and then we're gonna go back and settle into a more of a regular meta, as it were. Um,
I haven't seen
I
much
don't.
Thunderbird this season.
I
This
was I was
in
about to
Pro.
say Thunderbird. I'd say was probably like the most unplayed out of the 4 that came out this year so far.
Yeah.
Because like you see a lot of Flores, you see a lot of Osa, but Thorn not as much because Thorn's kind of like I don't think she can be played in rank right now. She
She
might be.
cannot be played in Pro League
She
yet.
cannot. Okay.
She's
And
still in
then
quarantine.
Thunderbird, I just haven't seen much of in general for some reason or another. I guess it's just at the point right now where we don't really have the ability for that 5th member to go something like Thunderbird, as opposed to maybe like a bandit or an extra mute or maybe something else.
Maruni.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the issue with Thunderbird is mainly due to the age of the game. Like we've had a medic on the defense side, Doc, but when you bring Doc, you're leaving a whole lot on the table, and people are just used to not having a healing op now. And now that they've introduced like a legitimately good one, people are just used to not having her, and so as a result, they don't even really um, consider her.
Yeah.
I would think it also might have to do with the fact that Aruni is extremely strong right now. Like everyone seems to have one on most lineups, so that's already kind of one spot taken by an operator. So you only have 4 to dish
Mhm.
out at that point.
Ooh, speaking of, and I actually got the win deltas for year 6 season 4 up right now. And it's funny you say Aruni because Aruni is actually up there with being what's considered overpowered. It's
Really?
Aruni, Thorn, Valkyrie, and Malusi have the highest win percentages with presence, and the highest
Mhm.
presence.
No,
Aruni
that's
is present.
Thunderbird. That symbol's
Oh, it is.
Thunderbird. Yes.
My bad. I'm being screwed up there. Well, I guess Thunderbird is getting picked in ranked lobbies at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, that
only
makes more sense.
she's a 3-speed, so that has a lot of
Yeah.
value.
And she has an AR. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, that too.
there's only what you got: Thunderbird, Wamai, Vigil,
Cade.
and kind of, I guess, for his weapon. It's more of like a sub machine gun, but an AR platform, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say his more is along the lines of like Thorns, probably, as opposed to like Jaegers or Vigils, something
Yeah.
along
Yeah.
those lines.
Mm-hmm. Jaeger still at the top, and I honestly think you cannot nerf Jaeger anymore. Like, it's you just leave him alone. You've done so much. You've taken so much from him, and he's still at the top of the game. The
Yeah.
reason
He's gonna
why
be.
the ADS.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Well,
about to
He's
say
gonna be
it's not
picked no
because of
matter
his
what.
primary.
it's the same argument you have with Thatcher that you have for Jaeger. The more ops get introduced, the stronger Jaeger becomes, because you introduce an op that, God forbid, they have a throwable. Well, guess what? Jaeger's ADS can take care of it. You introduce a
Yeah.
defensive op that has a gadget. Well, guess what? Thatcher's gadget can take it out. So it's one of those things where, unless you literally like took away his gun and he had
Mm-hmm.
nothing but a pistol, like people are still going to pick him a ridiculous amount.
I,
You could take away one of his ADSs and he would still have high pick rate.
I had seen
Ooh, don't give him no
something where
thoughts.
they thought
uh,
about like. Go ahead,
yeah.
Dan.
I was gonna say maybe change how Maya's gadget works and just give him all 6 off rip, or change the cooldown drastically. Cause that time, making it like lesions so that it comes out over a long period of time, it really hinders his pick rate over Jaeger. And I feel like that's a lot of the reason why people pick Jaeger as opposed to Wamai, because the chance of you living that long to begin with is very, very low.
I I think they use Wamai more for hard anchor, soft roam more than hard roam like Jaeger, because again he like Legion as well. The longer the game, the more valuable they are, and Wamai is one of those ops like Legion and Pulse Echo. Those are ops that have more valuable the longer they're alive.
To touch on the Jaeger thing, there was talk. I don't remember who it was, but it might have been Zeronic that was talking about making it so that you can toggle his ADSs from nades to flashes. So each ADS would catch a different type of throwable instead of
Oh,
it just being an overall, just all throwables, and then have it only have three things. Or I don't exactly remember. This was probably close to a year and a half ago, but I
mm,
remember hearing that, and I thought that was a really good idea.
Yeah. If they do that, the only thing I'd say is you'd probably have to either adjust how many flashes slash smokes every person on attack has, or you'd have to increase the amount that these Jaegers can block.
yeah, because it's
Because
gonna
that would
tip
be,
the. Go
yeah,
ahead.
go for it, Nick.
It's gonna tip the scale.
Yeah, a lot. It's going to become a nade heavy medi to the extreme.
That or the Jaeger would just have to think about which one that he wants to be set to what. So if you're anchoring somewhere and you don't want to get naded and that's a hard floor, then you set it to nades instead of the that way. So now that the Gone 6 has been released, it could be for the explosive type. So it'd be Gone 6 and nades, and then the other one would be flashes and smokes, would be the two
Mm,
settings for the ADS. And then you could have the different ADSs set up in different areas for different types of utility. So it's harder to burn those ADSs to clear the shield or nade the anchor out of the spot that they're in.
mm. I think the question is, can another op change it to switch it to nade to flash or just Jaeger, and that would value Jaeger more. Well, yes and no for Jaeger because a lot of people just run and gun Jaeger, but not a lot of people survive long as Jaeger, in my opinion. And
It would put more thought process into what you're actually doing with the ADSs
Yeah.
outside of
yeah,
positioning.
yeah.
I
Kind
mean,
of what you have to do with Womai. Go ahead, Dan.
it might also be cool to see him get maybe another one if that's going to be the case. But another thing you have to consider is that those Jaegers also take out like Zero's camps when they get shot, like Capital's bolts.
Yep.
And that stuff would have to be considered in the picking as well. And I don't know how Zero's camps would factor into that, but Capitals could probably go into the nades category.
Yep, I would assume
Mm,
that zeros could be. I mean, it would be up to whoever decides it, but
mm,
I would think that it would be under the flash category because it's not really an explosive. I mean, it can take out Goyo shields, but or I think it can, can't it?
I believe
what
so.
the
I don't know.
the what?
The Argus
Capito.
game.
No, they
Oh, the
cannot
Argus cam?
destroy
Yeah.
shields. They
Okay.
can, if it's a Goyo shield, yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, it can. Same thing with Twitch, because they have that laser like utility
Yeah.
now where it has no range. It can go across map. So, do you
That's all
think
I got for Jaeger.
they would like nerf Thatcher more, or would they increase Thatcher if they implemented more utility dumpage? And would that be as far as not banning him as often? Because with rank, you think about the whole nine. What Cal always says. That's why you ban the Thatcher. But with all this utility dumpage for defenders, do you think banning Thatcher should be lifted, like banning another op besides him?
Thatcher's just too strong, and there's not a whole lot more that they can do. Like, they took away his ability to actually destroy gadgets, so it just disables them. He only has 3 EMPs. Like, if you take away one of those, like, he becomes kind of useless because he's more situational than being able to do his job properly.
Mhm.
Like I don't see a lot of what you can do with Thatcher. I mean, he's not an entry op, he's a support op, so it's not like you can increase his armor and make him louder so he's slower and shit like that. That's not going to make a huge difference. If anything, that would make him stronger because he's going to be one of the last guys that comes in the room. I mean, I wouldn't know how to nerf Thatcher even more because you want to fuck with his weapons. Well, you can't fuck with his weapons without fucking with Floors and Sledge's weapons too. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
like there's not a whole lot more you can do.
Rest in peace, Sledge SMG 11.
Yes.
See, I I totally get that nerf because
Yes.
with an SMG 11 you could have the L85 for long range and the SMG 11 for short range, and
Mhm.
anybody who's been playing the game for a substantial amount of time knows how to use the SMG 11. So you become, along with grenades and the ability to do soft destruction, like Sledge can do way too much, which is why they took away the shotgun from Mozzie, what, 2 years ago now,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Mozzie was able to do too much.
Yeah. Now, I think as far as like all year one, like day one ops, I think they're all at a time at a they're all at a good position where you don't need to do anything with them besides like maybe glass. But other than that, I do believe that everybody that's on the that started on day one is in a good standstill, and the ones that are more issues are the more newer ops or more technical ops like Jackal, for instance. Like a lot of people in rank will just ban Jackal, the just because of the location that he can give off, and still I don't think Jackal needs to be banned that often as well. Just because when you're playing in rank, you need to work as a team, and this game is very team oriented. And I, I just I just burnt my mind off with that.
A lot of people don't either utilize his shotgun. Like they don't. I don't see a whole lot of people using it when he's even on the board. Or
Yeah,
sometimes same
that's
with Thatcher. Like he may be on the board sometimes, but nobody uses him if he's up. Everyone has just forgotten that he exists, which it kind of sucks. But it's something
Yeah,
that happened.
yeah. We
yeah,
were doing a 10 man the other day, and Thatcher was not banned, and I think we went 6 rounds before a Thatcher got brought out. Like people just completely forget about him.
Yeah. It was
yeah.
interesting. They
I
all wanted to run Flores.
Yeah, I was the Flores. I remember that one clearly. Like I even looked at the VOD and it's like no one used a Thatcher. I'm like, in my mind I was like, I think fuck Thatcher. Like we can get away. Let's try to get away without going on easy mode. Like, let's challenge ourselves. And Flores is pretty good, like an alternative to Thatcher. Same thing with Callie, but Callie needs some work to be Thatcher level. But Thatcher is fun, and they need to have more ops that are Thatcherist.
I think if you gave Callie the M14, you'd see a lot more people picking her because then she could essentially, I don't know, she could fill it's still a niche role, but with an M14, you're a little bit more capable to actually go in and get kills as opposed to just putting away your sniper rifle and pointing at your
Mm,
sidearm and hoping for the best.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because that's an actual like fragging weapon as opposed to a long range, hopefully they peek me type of weapon.
Mm,
And I mean, just put the gadget on her freaking weapon on the
yeah.
M14, let her do the same thing. Because the only way I see, because like looking at the ban rates, like especially for Thatcher, his ban rate is like 82%, something like that.
Yeah.
Jackals looks like it's like 58%. Like it's a little ridiculous. Um, the only way I can see like lowering those ban rates is by introducing an operator that is similar to the ones that get banned that fill that role but don't have the exact same gadget. Like
Right.
Callie. I mean, they obviously introduced her as an alternative to Thatcher because she does the exact same thing, but also destroys stuff on the other side. You just need to be a little bit smarter about it than with Thatcher.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And same thing with like Wamai and Jaeger, how Wamai being introduced lowered Jaegers a bit because now you have an alternative,
Yeah,
albeit not a great one, but it's better.
I I think Wamai has a better gun than Jaeger.
I agree. He definitely has a better gun. It's just the fact that his gadgets are easier to use, and once you put them down, you can forget about them. Wamai's, you pretty much have to be attentive to where the ears are and where you're going to put them next. And that takes a lot more of an active mindset as opposed to Jaeger, where you can just put your stuff down and then roam or do whatever you want.
Yeah. Um.
But as far as the Cali thing goes, I agree. They can't touch your gun. They're going to have to introduce another gun. Maybe instead of the Mark 14, maybe bring in like Blackbeard's DMR. Give them another alternative because Mark 14's already on both sides, but Blackbeard's DMR really hasn't made an appearance since Blackbeard himself has been introduced. That'd be a
Black
cool
Blackbeard just
comeback.
sucks in
Well,
general.
yeah,
Like the
yeah,
Scar is a slow, high powerful weapon, but the way Blackbeard plays, it's not really good for him.
yeah.
I I get the old American military. This is Blackbeard, but the Scar, it was good like in what Call of Duty, okay, but when you enter a game like this where high fire rate kill dominates over slower fire rate guns,
Yeah.
and especially with automatics, when you have a gun like that shoots slow, you're gonna get punished trying to click heads.
Well, yeah. No, like the other day we were playing against Blackbeard, and my friend's like, "Dude, this guy's so overpowered." I'm like, "All you have to do is literally put two bullets in the same spot, and he's dead." And guess what I did 2 seconds later? Put two bullets, same spot. Shield
Yeah.
broke with the first one. He's dead with the second one. Not
Mm-hmm.
really a good character as long as you can hit shots.
Yeah.
But it depends on how cracked the Blackbeard is on the other side
True.
of that.
That
Because
is very true.
when that first bullet hits the shield, he might shoot his first bullet and kill you. So
Yeah. But the fact that you most likely have a higher fire rate gun than he does means the chances that your second bullet's gonna hit him while his first hits you is pretty high.
Yeah. So that's the same thing. It's really kind of hard to even work Blackbeard because you have to like change his gun out and just keep his shield as it is. Because any tweaks to it is gonna make or break him.
yeah,
And
because if you
just give him a different gun, and that's all you can do with Blackbeard. Just move on to the next operator. The people that play Blackbeard is kind of like, why are you playing Blackbeard? You're creeping up to this corner so slow, alt walking with a shield in your face. You're gonna get popped.
Here's a controversial opinion. So, because he's a Navy SEAL operator, and what do Navy SEALs do? They blow shit up a lot. Fucking take away his shield, give him a fucking noob tube, and just
Oh my
give him
god.
grenades. 2 grenades,
No,
boom.
we don't need more explosive
Just
launchers in
give
this
him a
game.
fucking grenade launcher.
We don't need it.
Blackbeard.
Jeez, Cal.
Oh, all you hear is bloop across the
Yeah,
map.
just everything's gone.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, give him the true master key there.
Oh,
Oh my
yeah,
god.
yeah. But on to the next topic. Like as far as operators, how you think about the next operator for year 7? So far that we have known, this is a Yakuza. What some people might not know what Yakuza is, Japanese mobsters. So why would they? Cal, I'm gonna let you take care of this because I know you have a very heartful opinion about this.
Well, I just don't understand why they're bringing like, because it's Rainbow Six. So, it's all about counter. It's a counterterrorism unit. Blah blah blah, all that stuff. Like, there's so many more militaries in the world that they can be grabbing from, and like even countries that they've done before, they have multiple different like counterterrorism units, special forces units, all that stuff. That's still hasn't really been touched on and shit. And whereas, some countries get a bunch like the SAS ops, there's fucking 4 of them. There's a bunch of them. But then, look at, oh fuck. I don't know, like Canada, US, other countries like they'll only have 2. Um and we've already gotten a couple of Japanese operators too. So like why can't we get like for example, Philippine special forces, like why can't we get some Gurkhas in here? Those dudes are fucking crazy. They're awesome.
Hmm.
Um you know what? And we they've already experimented a little bit with like non-government affiliated, like Amaru. I don't think she's affiliated with the government. Like if you look at her bio, she's literally someone that just like tracks down cartel dudes and kills them. So it's pretty badass, but it's like, showcase more of the world's operators. Show that like, this country that you didn't even know they had, this badass special forces. Well, check them out. They're pretty fucking cool, shit like that. So I don't know. Maybe it's something like where she's a former yakuza turned informant and then started working for the government and became like a spook or some shit. I don't know. We'll know here in what fucking 12 days.
Yeah.
But I don't understand. I guess why they're doing that as opposed to just continuously grabbing from other countries, militaries and showcasing them. So
What I think
I mean,
they
go for it.
um what they've been doing is since the introduction of Cali and Wamai, they've pretty much offshooting some of these operators over to Night Haven. And again, I think that might be a lazy way of saying we can't figure out which military to pick, so we're just going to send them to Night Haven. They're from this country. They're from Night Haven. Same. So Amaru, she's not affiliated with any kind of military. She's under Night Haven. So it's kind of like why introduce a big whole counter terrorist group and then offshoot the rest to a work for hire mercenary corps.
so I can kind of answer that, I think. Because when Rainbow Six was first released, it was lore over balancing, and that's why like so many operators were like overpowered and shit like that. And of course, to make a truly balanced competitive shooter, things have to be balanced. So it's got to be balance over lore. But when it comes to the introduction of operators, you can just go straight lore. It's like this and that. So if you pay attention to some of the bios and all that stuff, how Six talks, he pretty much says like we went ahead and hired them so that somebody else wouldn't, and we'd have to end up fighting against them. So it's like, okay, that's cool. That makes sense. Um, but it like like you said, it's like they're sort of picking and choosing when to do this. It's like stay consistent. Like, if you're gonna hire the whole Night Haven freaking PMC, like have a year where it's just like nothing but Night Haven ops and just introduce them and then move on to the next one. Like I
Mm-hmm.
understand certain countries are going to be pretty controversial. I remember hearing a few years ago they were going to introduce an Israeli op, and a lot of people have very strong opinions about Israel and Palestine and that whole thing, which I will definitely not get into. But it's like some things, it's not worth the trouble. Um, but it's like consistency. Like, just do a year of Night Haven ops. Have this whole fucking thing about it, but and then move on. Like, stop like going back to the well. Like, oh, we don't know what to do. Let's go back here. Oh, let's get Ace. Oh, he's Night Haven. Oh, let's get Malusi. Oh, she's Night Haven. Oh wait, is she Night Haven?
Who?
I can't remember.
Malusi? No, no,
Malusi.
no, no.
She has skins from the battle pass, but that are Night Haven. But other than that, no, I don't think so.
Oh, because I know there's what 3 Night Haven ops right now.
It's Wamai, Callie, Ace, Osa. They might be implementing Fuse to say, oh, he's going to Night Haven. Aruni. So that's about a good 5 right there since year 4.
Yeah, it's like, and there's almost a year's worth of ops right there. So like, just do the whole thing for a year and then go to somebody else.
Yeah, you could even go in the direction of making maybe a Night Haven map, maybe send the lore and the actual like direction of the game in that way for maybe a season, make an event out of it. There's a lot of things you could do with that if you were gonna do with it.
Yeah,
Mm.
I
and
mean,
go ahead.
I was gonna say the only reason they might have gone down that path instead of maybe starting a year like that is because they had a certain gadget idea in mind, and that might have been the only way they could have gotten that gadget idea across, is to fit the lore around the actual gadget.
Yeah, and the whole thing with Tom Clancy games is like, futuristic military stuff, like things that may exist, may not exist, stuff that's, maybe a prototype.
Mm.
And to correct myself, I did misspeak earlier about the U.S. only having several operators because I forgot about FBI. But that also goes back to it's like, well, what about other countries' cops too?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's like, if we can have FBI, like, what about other countries' freaking local law enforcement? Like, what about Interpol agents? Like, there's going to be some dudes that are training counterterrorism for there.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. I think it's with the whole counterterrorist group. They kind of shot themselves in the foot because they are trying to avoid that now. They're trying to go into more of an esports kind of situation now, to where they do not even put the word terrorist or anything like that. It's basically one group versus another group, and it's kind of like it's losing the old aspect of the ground of what Rainbow Six was supposed to be. And I'm not going to accept the whole it's a esports. I'm going to accept that this is where it's counter terrorist versus terrorist. This is what the game was supposed to be, but it's esports. It's an esports game, so that's it.
Well, like, the whole concept of Rainbow Six, like, I'm cool with it. It's essentially like a war games type of thing. It's something that like militaries actually do. They take their actual guys and they just pit them against each other. It's like it's
Mm,
the best way to practice. So like the concept is perfectly fine and it's cool, but like, it's also a Tom Clancy world where the goal of these dudes is to, freaking kill terrorists. That's the reason Rainbow Six exists, or Team Rainbow, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
just go ahead.
I don't know why they're really getting too fussy about that because at the end of the day, games like GTA still exist which are far worse in terms of the actual content. And then you got someone making boohoo's about, oh no, terrorist isn't something like, come on. At the
I
end of
mean,
the day, it's still a game.
but still though, it's like a couple years ago when Wolfenstein 2, um New Order or whatever it's called came out,
Oh,
and there was a bunch of people were like, "Oh, they're so violent with this and that. You're killing all these people and blah, blah, blah." And then the creative director was like, "Yeah, you are, but you're killing Nazis and fuck those guys." It's like it's the same thing. It's like you're killing terrorists. Like fuck those guys. What's the
Mm.
big deal here?
It's I just it's just how the day and age is today. Now it's more so sensitive to the fact that you cannot implement real world subjects without somebody complaining about, oh, this is too much, what about them and what about them. It's kind of like, well, we're bringing this up so you know what it is like to experience this. I mean, it's you're not everybody's going to experience this, but you should be informed of what stuff like this will happen, like GTA with the whole terrorism and all that. I'm not for terrorism or anything, but these games, they introduce real world subjects that educates the community about that, and certain people probably unsensitive, desensitized to, like, they make fun of jokes and stuff like that, but it's real life. And
yeah.
yeah.
I don't know how longer you want to stay on this topic, but I am going to bring this up just for a moment. I'm surprised back when Battle or Call of Duty World War II came out, people weren't up in arms about that. Because aren't their story modes usually like very into the military and like history and stuff like that? It wasn't
Oh,
that one specifically about like World War II and the internment camps? I didn't
Um,
play it personally.
no, not really. I didn't play it, but I watched the whole. I get bored sometimes, so I'll watch like the campaign things.
Yeah.
Um, Essentially, what the story is it's this like clandestine group. The whole like Hogan's Heroes type of thing, where it's like a bunch of dudes going doing this impossible task. I know that's not what Hogan's Heroes is, but that's the first thing that popped in my head. Anyways,
mhm.
you've got a British dude, you've got an Aussie, you've got an American, you've got a Russian, and they go and they do this mission and they get captured, and then what happens is it goes through and shows each person's story leading up to that portion, and then they escape and then they kill the Nazis, and it's pretty much it's as far as World War II games go, like it's actually pretty tame, I would say, except for at the
Mhm.
end. Well, I won't spoil it too much, but somebody gets set on fire.
Damn. Man's
Ooh,
burned.
that's
Pretty
lit.
much, but
That's lit.
Oh, I missed out.
it's especially compared to Modern Warfare, it's tame.
I was about to
Yeah.
say Modern
You,
Warfare was
you
pretty bad too.
Modern
Like
War.
the remake, like the first 10 minutes of the game, you freaking um good old Captain Price chucks a dude off a balcony and the guy blows up.
Oh yeah,
You're like a 13, 14-year-old girl and you kill a Russian soldier with a brick.
that was very
Like
fun. But
so
What
man,
the?
but I mean, overall, the Call of Duty story that was some really good story. Like the whole aspect of what brought this person to do all this was because they lived in a very third world country to where she was forced to kill somebody, and that led up to her becoming that was the lady that was in the later on in the story, right? The grown up that had the brother, and the brother was working for the Spetsnaz,
yeah.
right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you understood like why he did this and why she did this to that point. Now the I think there was a time where you infiltrated that that facility with the hostages or the refugees, and you was just deciding on who to kill. That was something, because me not being in the military, my dad was in the military, but he never talked about it. But that was um, that was something.
All right,
And
what do we got for our next topic here? We got kind of off on a limb outside of Siege here.
um,
Let's bring it back in a little bit.
okay, um, okay. So anyway, that's a good thing. So with Dominus, we have we have like four teams. We had five. Well, we had
Yeah, as
four
of right
Three
now.
originally.
teams that play in here.
Yes, we got Dominus Red, Dominus Blue, and Dominus Purple with a hint of Dominus White that shows up whenever they
Just
don't
ask for
show up.
scrims like every week.
Yeah. So black shirts, you are the captain of blue, correct?
Yes, indeed, I am.
Okay. So how's been blue been going on so far?
Pretty good. We're signed up for season 2 of Vapor. Well, season 3. We placed top 3 on the last free season of Vapor, and this season is paid, so we're looking forward to that. And we got some new players coming in. We had hosted some tryouts recently, and
Hmm.
it's a promising batch of new guys
Oh, great, great,
and
great.
gal.
And Dan, how's purple been going on with?
Purple's been going. We literally just started up, what, like 2, 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and we've pretty much already made it through a map. We're looking to get a little more practice in on that map, maybe get one or two more people in, so we can get a
Hmm.
consistent practice schedule in a little better than just weekends,
Yeah.
and hopefully just start scrimming it out, getting maybe a couple more maps under our belt, and we should be ready to go by, I think Wolf quoted us in at like April/May to
Mm,
be able to like start competing and stuff like that.
okay, that's
Yeah.
great. Now the reason why I picked Red last is Red's been in a struggling period for the past year, and oh, Cal, you know how it's been with Red. Um, the whole aspect of everything has been struggling, but it's shown it's shown a little bit promise a little bit. We got two new people. We have Joey, Seth, and Zeke. They are in it, but we can push them a little bit further with that. Um, I had to take a step back from Red just to do focus on content and work. So I'm going to be a sub for Red, but don't take me seriously with Red. As far as like playing wise, I mean, I'm still with Red all day. Oh yeah, and Valium as well. Um, Valium's been in there as well. He's been good and promising as well. So
Yeah.
I'm passing the mic over to you, Cal, with Red.
Well, you pretty much said it. I could speak more or less on how I guess we run the team. Um, it's just I try to change things up pretty often because I'll figure out like, this works, this doesn't work, this worked with this people, this didn't work with these people, and blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
And I've decided to adopt a more structured way of doing things. Like before the training each week, I post what's going to happen in the training, what I expect to happen, what I'd like to happen. Um, we go through a very structured thing with each map. It's going to be the exact same. Like first week is review, memorization, and then practice for default strats, the stuff that you expect to see according to the meta, and then come up with pocket strats, and then scrim, and then next map, and so on and so forth. So it's a little bit more structured, and with the intent behind to get everybody the knowledge that they need in order to be successful.
Yeah.
Um, try to record as much as I can, so people can see it and go back to it because none of us gets paid for this, so I anticipate people just coming and going. Just it's
Yeah.
just a way of things. So just having stuff there and implemented and ready to go. Like you said, we got two new people, so we need to catch them up. And best way to do things is just have a system in place where they can just essentially review it, get caught up, start playing with people, and just go.
Yeah, because I mean, for me with Red, I've learned a lot. Played a different type of way when I'm play online, like on rank, unrank. When I've been playing with Red, I've more reliant on my teammates to help me out, and I learned to adjust my style to help benefit the team. And also, side note, Sliz came by in the chat for practice today. I did talk to him a
Yeah, I
little
saw
bit.
him. I sent him a PM, but I was in class and doing schoolwork, so I couldn't stop by.
Yeah, yeah. But with Red, you're going to learn. You're going to learn a lot. Like if you feel like you're wasting your time with Red, trust me, you're not. You're not wasting your time. We get shit done. We think about how the map is taken. It's more open as well, and yeah. So go ahead, Dan.
Well, put it this way, like purple and blue, and like this is not shade thrown at red team members at all. Generally they just some of them at least some of them. Man, this just sounds bad. I'm just gonna say it. So blue and purple for the most part, they're generally better than the people on red. And like I'm not trying to talk shit about anybody because with red, my intention is like we do it different. We don't have tryouts. It's like someone wants to be on. All right, cool, you're here. And then I'm essentially my goal is to just help train them up. It's the ultimate goal is of course, get into freaking comp, get into, into T3, maybe, touch your feet, get your ass beaten, try and do challenger league tryouts, whatever. But because in the past, when I first started playing Siege, when I got on PC, it was extremely hard to try to get onto a team. It was
Hmm.
extremely hard to try to get somebody to to help you, to train you, and all that stuff. Everybody wants experience. It's the whole thing of you're 18 years old, but they want 20 years experience for this entry level job type of thing. Everybody
Hmm.
wants experience. Everybody wants, you to be, plat 3 or above with like a 1.13 KD and all that shit, or 1.3 KD. So my whole thing is anybody who wants to come on, I'll take them on. I'll help train them up. I'll help get them to where they need to be. And if they want to move on, then so be it. And I'll move on to the next person that wants to get trained up.
With
So
hmm
Fred's not necessarily a training team, but it kind of is because
we
I will train anybody up and get them there.
we turn silvers into golds and plats. That's what, and then they leave. Like with everybody that was previously on Wasabi, Jen, Sliz, and Rev, they all made plat and left. I was like, bruh, I'm the only one that didn't turn plat that season, and y'all left me, crying faces.
I did not know that.
Yeah. But
Dude.
yeah, like everybody that had left, that left red turned into a plat, and I have a plat mindset, but I don't hit plat. I mean, I don't. I get a lot of anxiety with coming up to playing rank sometimes, and then I get pissed when I'm group up with somebody and a certain push is going on. I'm like, why are we doing this? But go ahead, Dan. I know what you got. You got
Yeah.
something to say.
Yeah, I'm just gonna speak a little bit on my own experience with Red. I was actually a Red member for I think 2 months at this point before Purple started getting up, and said I want to hang out with them. Um, he really helped me out, specifically Cal. I came in pretty much right before 2 or 3 weeks before Christmas started, and I was just like, "Hey, I'm really new around here. I've been in the server for about a day or two. Haven't really said anything, but I was looking to join a comp team, and I was wondering if I would be able to join one of your 2 or 3 teams that you seem to have here." He pointed
Mm-hmm.
me in the direction of Red. I believe my first cafe scrim with them, it was a complete disaster. We didn't know what we were doing at all, didn't know how to play as a team whatsoever. It went extremely poorly. But off of that, I did a couple of one-on-ones with Cal. I played a lot more with the people on the server, and then slowly I got better over time with their
Yeah.
help and advice. And it
Mm-hmm.
was an extremely helpful experience for me because, at least for me, as opposed to some of the people on the team, I had been brought up in the COB experience. I was on my university team before they got kind of fell apart and just ran away. So I had a lot of the intel calling out and a lot of that stuff already baked in. But my actual teamwork and gun skill wasn't up to par with the rest of what I was doing. So it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't really helping out in the grand scheme of things. It was a lot of just blind calls and stuff like that. And with
Mm-hmm.
their help, their one-on-ones, and just playing with this server in general, I've become a lot better as a player to the point where I was considered for a purple team, and I currently hold a position on that team now because of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that that he's preaching will happen with Red. He's one of the new
Yeah.
he's fresh off the boat that came into Red, and he's been going good. Same thing with Joey. Joey was damn. Joey is like he was what, bronze, silverish, and now the dude is pushing gold, and like every night he's playing rank, and I'm like, man, I want to play, but I'm kind of like, I don't like Night Siege. Night Siege pissed me off.
Yeah. He was
I,
silver 1 the other day. And now
yeah,
he's like gold. He's pushing gold 1 last night. I'm like, what happened? How are you this close already? You're solo queuing.
yeah.
What?
Yeah,
I'm
he's definitely grinding quite a bit.
Yes.
I
Who
would
is
I
this?
want
I'm sorry, I was in the bathroom.
Joey.
Okay.
Ah,
Joey.
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Joey,
And
yeah.
I also just want to say I'm gonna rudely interrupt everybody so that I can say it. Um, it's like you say things like we're getting up, getting people from bronze to silver, silver to gold. There's gonna be people out there. It's like, oh, gold, all your shit, and blah 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 blah. It's like let me remind like pretty much anybody who's willing to listen. It's like once you encroach and hit plat, like you're something like the top 10% of players. Like you have surpassed the vast majority of people that have played the game. So it's like it's not a small feat to improve. Like if you were regularly a silver player, which is where the vast majority of people in Siege sit, it's not a small thing to consistently be silver, and then you're consistently gold, and then you're consistently gold while hitting plat. Like that's an enormous improvement.
Hmm. I just think like a lot of people I played with all brag, oh, I'm plat, I'm plat, I'm plat, and I'm over like, I guess I'm not plat, but I don't. Sometimes I don't even I question myself as far as like my values. Like, am I the person that they want to call to play? Because I feel like sometimes I'm behind, and that's a little bit. I think that's on me, to me to work through, because I know my role as far as with Siege. I'm hard support. I'm support. I'm the person that's on site. If I'm running around site, that means this team is trash. If I'm running around site like this, if I'm on site, then yes, I'm on a challenge. But I'm running around the site, then yeah, this game is easy peasy. Yeah.
As long as you're IGLing, you're always doing your job
Hmm.
and giving comms as
Yeah.
support.
Yes. Oh, and that's an important thing to say too. If you play a match without an IGL and you play a match with an IGL, the difference is literally night and day. You go from getting absolutely slammed to it being an even fight. Like that's the difference. That's how important an IGL is.
Hmm. Yeah. Because I've dealt with IGLing, and I think I regurgitated back to where I'm basically just gonna follow my team, and then I'm gonna tell them, hey, I need this, I need that, because I can't. Because every time I say make up a plan, it doesn't go through. So I'm just gonna like do what you want, and then I'm gonna adapt to this and see how we can do from there. Because shit just don't happen a lot with Siege. But that's all I got to say. Um, anyways, again, shirts, Dan, Cal, thank you for coming today. I've been trying to do this podcast for a long time, and we finally got the first one up. So,
Finally.
yeah. So, I'm glad that,
Yes.
I know me and Cal will be hosting this. So if you want to come, if we need somebody, we'll hit y'all up.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be on episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll love
Yeah.
to be here as much as you guys have me.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead.
Oh, I kind of forgot what I was gonna say, but I want to talk shit to Dan. I'm gonna grab you and make you be in here every time now.
Oh, wow. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. So we got
I've been
what,
up to the main roster. Let's go, boys.
3 hosts? 3 hosts is not bad. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Also, at the end of this too, whoever made it to watching this, listen to all this, we do have 10 mans with Siege. So if you want to come to the 10 man, just come into Discord. Say I want to join a 10 man. People will be flocking in for a 10 man. We got them late night sieges. We got some videos coming up with 10 mans from the 10 mans that we have, and we got more to come. We also got some other content as well, so be on the lookout for that. So
Yeah.
follow us on our social medias. Mine is Nick Ben Rob, NickBenrawb. Cal Switch is Calicaboot. So type in KALAKABOOT. Black shirts got a bunch of numbers in there. Go
I
ahead.
say go follow the Dominus TikTok, Instagram, and
We have
whatnot.
a
And if you're
TikTok.
not already in the server, hop in the server.
Yeah. Hmm. So nice chill podcast. So enjoy your rest of your day or night or whatever time of the day it is for you. This is Nick Ben Rob with Cal, Dan, and Shirts, for Dominus Gaming. See y'all later.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.